Maize is one of the major staple foods in Uganda. Its production has increased over the years as people change their consumption trends. The crop is commonly produced in Kapchorwa, Uganda and Masindi. However, in the last 2 seasons, the price of maize has dropped gradually. Looking at Masindi area, the kilo of maize goes between 100 shillings to 200 shillings. Now, moving around Masindi district, it was visible that many farmers have ventured away from the crop due to the harsh experience in the last seasons. Consequently, the gardens are empty or with very little maize growing. To understand the situation better, we talked to Geoffrey Kiza, one of the biggest maize farmers in Masindi district, who has shifted to other crops due to the losses he experienced in the last season.
That one has discouraged me a lot of recent, and particularly this year. I refused to go back tactfully and dodged the growing of maize and switched to emphasis on agriculture, which is on bananas, which is perennial, which at least I have seen the market has always been available throughout the whole country. That if you can't sell it in Kampala, you will sell it in Masaka. If it is not there, you can take it to Gulu.
Bigawa says, despite the slight increase in price of maize, farmers could not benefit because they no longer have the maize.
But it was almost useless. By the time it came to 300 shillings, maize was almost over from farmers. And therefore, it was meant to pay nobody. And now, as we talk, maize has gone to 400. Still, it is just going because it is not available.
Bigawa categorizes the only farmers that have stuck to the maize growing business.
We have a category of people whom I would call briefcase farmers. For them, they stay in the towns and in urban areas. They have their monies got from different sectors, but they are now desirous and interested in doing some farming according to what they hear. But in the end, they are going to see, like those ones who entered last season. So, but we have another sector of smallholder farming, those peasants. Those ones, they survive there. Whether the prices go to 50 shillings, they will still produce maize because they have no option.
If you were to plow 1 acre of land for maize production, for example, you will need 100,000 shillings. For the second plow, you will need again 100,000 shillings. For the seeds, 50,000 shillings. For planting, 50,000 shillings. Weeding on the 2 occasions, you will go for 100,000 shillings. And if you are to apply herbicides to spray the armyworms, it goes for 100,000 shillings. And for fertilizers, 100,000 shillings per bag. This brings the total cost of production to between 600,000 to 700,000 per acre of land. And when you calculate the amount of money currently being got out from 1 acre at the average of 10 bags per acre at the rate of 200 shillings per kilo, it means you'll make a loss of 500,000 Uganda shillings. As we report, the sugar companies have taken the advantage of the situation to approach the disgruntled farmers to become sugar outgrowers, and over 6 square miles of land have been acquired for the new sugarcane plantations.
So they are switching to cane growing. They are switching to other things which are not food. They are entirely commercial crops.
This has caused fear among farmers that it may result into food insecurity in the region. The Masindi Agriculture Officer Job Biaruhanga confirms the shift by farmers from maize to other agricultural activities, but he says this will only affect the small-scale farmers.
Alternatives are many. People are going in for horticulture. People are growing. Some are growing sugarcane, but it may not be to the small-scale farmers. Much as farmers are growing sugarcane, but the small-scale farmers have been majorly depending on maize.
In a joint statement in Parliament in July this year, the Minister of Trade Amedia Chambade and the Minister of Agriculture Vincent Sempija revealed that government was to provide a budget through the Agriculture Credit Fund to the Grain Council to buy 500,000 metric tons of maize from farmers at 500 shillings a kilo. This, however, has not been implemented as it was announced, prompting farmers to move away from maize until prices improve. Ivan Chumuchigozi, NTV.